That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat all she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. Couldn't do it.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with Karen B. and Just Jack Flat Earth. Shabbat
Shalom. Sorry so late. Tried really hard to translate very fast. I had a rough week. Like I work like 10 hours a day, and the beginning of the week, the first 2 days, I only got 5 billable hours. So that was me catching up with work in the end of the week, and then I had to go stress relief by hanging out with Karen B and a bunch of Flat Earth homies, as well as saying goodbye to Witsit, who was moving to an undisclosed location. And it was a great time, and it was definitely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can get to this scripture, which is I think it's a very important chapter to like understand some confusion between the Old and New Testament, and even what this thing that we're talking about disclaims, as well as the end of the chapter is like super, very, very, very super, super important. So it's going to be a good chapter, even though it took me a while to translate it. So I'll give my disclaimer, Just Jack's disclaimer to the religious. If you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then the stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, this stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language or using concordances or dictionaries for words, as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins to show how religions contradict the scriptures. There we go. And I had a discussion with somebody at the last meetup that we had out there with Dr. Law. And I said to the person that I'm not religious, and he's like trying to figure out what sect I belong to, what religious organization I belong to, and I was trying to explain it to him, and he thought that religion is basically worship of God, period. Now that may have been like the old and busted version, but today's version is, basically you're under a hierarchy of a bunch of men that tell you how to worship God. That's the current definition of religion, which is what we're trying to get away from. Not the acknowledgement and honor to the creator, but to ignore men in hierarchy above the creator's own words in scripture. So, all right, now that I've disclaimed that as well, we can start reading whenever you like, or we could do a review, but the review I don't think is necessary because it's uncontextual to this chapter. So it's up to you if you want to just get into it instead of review.
Okay. I guess we can just get into it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. And Yehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when a man or woman does separate by making a vow of a Nazirite to be separate to Yehovah."
Okay, let me pause there. So already we have this thing where it says a man or a woman, and there are a lot of people who think that the Bible is sexist, like it's only the men get all the stuff, only the men can do the things.
Mm-hmm.
But here specifically, it even says like the male or the female taking a Nazirite vow. So this is not exempt from women to get involved in it if they prefer. And this is also a preference. Okay, so this is not a requirement. It's a you make the decision of making this vow. And just to clarify the confusion from New and Old Testament, this is the word Nazirite that gets confused in the New Testament, where it says he will be called a Netzer. Okay, so this is Nazir, which is highlighted right here. Nazir meaning dedicated or put the crown of. So this Nazir is different than Netzer, which is Nun Sadi Resh. This is Nun Zion Resh. They're two different words. Just like the Zionists are from a Zion, the letter Zion, and Sion, which is like in the Bible, like the city of Sion, the city of Zion. The Tzadi and the Zion get confused, and when people who are not in the know don't see that confusion, then you can get words twisted really quickly, very easily. Like when you hear about the Zionists, they're a political movement. They have nothing to do with the scripture whatsoever, rather than Mount Zion. So that is a big distinction, and it's lost in translation. The same thing as he will be called a netzer, not a nazir. So that's the difference between the New and Old Testament. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Verse 3.
He separates himself from wine and strong drink. He drinks neither vinegar of wine nor vinegar of strong drink. Neither does he drink any grape juice, nor eat grapes or raisins.
Okay, so in this particular instance, I found that they have this translation of vinegar, and it's actually the same one where it says you must get the leavening out of your house. This is the word leaven. So it's the leaven of wine or the leaven of strong drink. So not just the wine or strong drink, but also that which ferments it, the leavening of it. So he has to abstain from leavening as well, which I found that quite interesting. I've never read or heard that before, but there it is. It's obviously leavening. All right.
All right.
Oh, and vinegar is twice fermented wine, right? So
Right.
typically you ferment wine in a non aerated way,
Mm-hmm.
and then vinegar is a very aerated fermented way.
Mm-hmm.
So
All the days of his separation he does not eat whatever is made of the grapevine from seed to skin.
self-explanatory, no part of the grape whatsoever.
All the days of the vow of his separation a razor does not come upon his head. Until the days are completed for which he does separate himself to Yehovah, he is set apart. He shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow long.
Okay. And if people know the story of Samson, he was given like a similar vow, but it was not technically a Nazirite vow, although he was a Nazir his whole life. He could not, he was not made unclean by death, which we're going to see in a little bit. You are made clean by death in the Nazir, because Samson like conquered the enemies of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't made unclean by killing the bad guys. Anyways. All right.
Okay. All the days of his separation to Yehovah, he does not go near a dead body.
There you go.
He does not make himself unclean for his father or for his mother, for his brother or his sister when they die, because his separation to Elohim is on his head.
So even if like your family member dies, you're not supposed to attend the burial or come in contact with a dead body. It's a major separation, which again, people who read the New Testament, like it talks about a guy who says that he can't follow Yeshua because he has to bury his father, and he says, let the dead bury the dead. It's not a necessity for you to be there to bury someone. Although in our culture it is like it's frowned upon. It's people have gotten angry with me because I don't attend funerals.
Mm-hmm.
I'll attend the wake or the party or the remembrance thing, but I will not go and view and touch a dead body. It's just, yeah, it's
kind of creepy, actually.
It is. It's kind of nasty. It's a bad transition. Like, let's touch his dead body. And like, I see in movies, like when people die and they're sad about it and they're kissing all over the dead body. And it's like, oh, it's so freaking nasty. But anyway, continue.
All the days of his separation, he is set apart to Yehovah.
And of course, this word set apart is what is often translated as holy, but holy is a false deity of India. But again, it says of his separation. Okay, well, we've definitely talked about separation before, especially in the case of nida. Nida is a separation of a woman's menstrual cycle or a discharge of blood from a man. Well, it's a discharge of man or a woman, but typically woman, it's about her monthly cycle. But anyway, this separation is a completely different word. It's actually Nazir, like Nazirite. All the days of his Nazir, he is set apart to Yehovah. He's holy to Yehovah. So that is important to see that even though they use the same words in the translation, it's not the same word. You have to read the context. You have to understand what's going on here. All right, go ahead.
All right. And when anyone dies beside him in an instant, suddenly, and he has defiled the head of his separation, then he shall shave his head on the day of his cleansing. On the seventh day he shaves it.
Okay, so now, like, he's just, standing around, and a dude dies right next to him when he catches him and he's falling. That's it. He's not now keeping the vow of separation. So we'll read on to the next verse to see what he does.
And on the eighth day he brings 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest to the door of the tent of appointment.
Okay.
And the priest shall prepare one as a sin offering and the other as an ascending offering, and shall make atonement for him, because he sinned by reason of the dead body, and he shall set apart his head on that day.
Okay, so one shall be the distance or off mark offering, and one shall be the rising offering and atonement. Okay, so go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And the
12.
What did I say? That 12, yeah. And shall separate to Jehovah the days of his separation, and shall bring a male lamb a year old as a guilt offering, but the former days are not counted, because his separation was defiled.
Okay, so some people have asked me, well, how many days is a Nazir? That's up to you. So, like, let's say I dedicate, like, for instance, there's an often called out for 50, right? The 50-year Jubilee, the 50-week Shavuot, et cetera, et cetera. So, or 50 days Shavuot, sorry. And so what if I said, okay, for the next 50 days, I'm going to be a Nazir. I'm not going to touch anything that's fermented. I'm not going to touch any wine, strong drink, leavening, for this 50 days. And for the whole time, I'm not going to grow, I'm not going to cut my hair, et cetera, et cetera. Some people may do it for a couple of years, so there's a lot of different methods to doing this. But what it's saying is that once he's been defiled by that dead body, those previous days are not counted. You're starting over from scratch. That dedication still has to go to pass. So, like, let's say you make a 7-year dedication, and then 3 years into it, somebody dies. You have to start over for your 7 years for your dedication. It's a very, very big vow.
All right. And this is the Torah of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are completed, he is brought to the door of the tent of appointment.
Yeah, the door of the tent of the appointment is another term for the tabernacle, because that's where you're appointed to bring your offerings and show up for the Moedim, the appointed times and whatnot. So,
and he shall bring his offering to Jehovah, 1 male lamb a year old, a perfect one, as an ascending offering, and 1 ewe lamb a year old, a perfect one, as a sin offering, and 1 ram, a perfect one, as a peace offering.
For shaloms. And this is just to go back really quick, when it says the tent of appointment, this appointment is Moed, the appointed time. So, like, appointment, so yeah, the last offering is for shalom. All right. 15.
And a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mixed with oil, and unleavened thin cakes anointed with oil, and their grain offering with their drink offerings.
Yeah, thin cakes is wafers, and drink offerings is continue to pour.
And the priest shall bring them before Jehovah, and prepare his sin offering and his ascending offering.
Okay.
And he shall prepare the ram as a slaughtering of peace offerings to Jehovah, together with the basket of unleavened bread, and the priest shall prepare its grain offering and its drink offering.
Sacrifice of shaloms. Slaughtering. Okay, sorry. Always triggered with that word, always.
Yeah. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tent of appointment, and shall take the hair from the head of his separation, and shall put it on the fire which is under the slaughtering of the peace offerings.
So it goes into the fire, not onto, where they sacrifice the meat and stuff. You don't want the hair mixed in.
Right.
So it actually gets tossed in the fire part.
And the priest shall take the boiled shoulder of the ram and 1 unleavened cake from the basket, and one unleavened thin cake, and put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after he has shaved his hair of separation.
All right.
Then the priest shall wave them a wave offering before Jehovah. It is set apart for the priest, besides the breast of the wave offering, and besides the thigh of the contribution, and afterwards the Nazarite shall drink wine.
And the breast offering is the offering of seeing. Just throwing that in there. The other thing where it keeps saying shoulder, it could possibly like not be shoulder because it's more akin to the leg, like the leg of a river, like the bending location. So it's basically, you know, the meaty part around the joint, which is like really, you know, good meat. All right.
This is the Torah of the Nazarite who vows to Jehovah the offering for his separation, and besides that, whatever else his hand is able to provide, according to the vow which he takes. So he shall do according to the Torah of his separation.
Okay, so this is a man who's making Torah for himself. He's making commandments for himself that he must complete for his vow. So, like, let's say not only did he vow to do the Nazarite vow, but on top of that, he's offering to bring, you know, half of his crops or a quarter of his crops or something like that, where he's making a Torah for himself that once this time has completed, I'm going to offer, you know, above what's expected of me.
Okay. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying...
Okay, pause here for a second. So, again, not speak, but davar, word, right? This is a word of order, not just nonchalantly talking, right?
All right. Speak to Aharon and his sons, saying, this is how you bless the children of Yisrael. Say to them...
All right, hold on a second. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it all on the screen. Let's do this. All right. It is Ivarakaka Yehovah Vayishmareka, Yair Yehovah Panavaleka Vichuneka, Yisa Yehovah Panavaleka Vayasam Laka Shalom. All right. I did that because of what it actually stands for and what it actually is, and then we'll get into it after you read it, the translation in English.
Okay. Yehovah bless you and guard you. Yehovah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yehovah lift up his face upon you and give you peace.
Okay, so what this is it's a blessing that we, like all of us, should be doing to one another. It's blessing us in Yehovah, not blessing us by our pockets, not blessing us by our power, not blessing us by our stature, but we're saying be blessed in the Creator, right? And it's different from every other blessing, but this is how you're supposed to bless anyone who acknowledges the Creator. Okay, and verse 27 tells you why. Next verse, 27.
Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall bless them.
See, so the tradition or the law of all religions currently, of let's say Judeo-Christian, right? They refuse to speak the name of the Creator. They refuse to acknowledge the Creator even has a name. But here he says, you put my name on the people, and I, the Creator, will bless them myself, right? So this is very important. It's like this is your identity connection to the Creator. It's very important. All right, so we can jump over to chat if you'd like. And it may seem like this was not a long chapter, but let me tell you, there was a lot of words translated here that does not appear anywhere else throughout the entire Torah. So it was eventful, to say the least. So, all right. So shout out to TCZ Amman, Melissa Joe, Aisling 717. What's up, Cammy? Daryl Davis. Flatty915 unveiling this round. Shout out to Karen B. Captain Construction, Joseph Osborne, FE Nation. What's up, brother? Saw him at the pool. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Reed, Spicy Sarah. Saw her yesterday. That was fun. Ted Sommer. Saw him yesterday. That was fun. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, Kimmy was there too. So,
yeah, and Zach. It was a good time, you guys.
it was a very good time. Yeah, it was great. Critical Inception. Yeah, he was there too. That's some dude that I know. He's living on my property right now. Cable guy forever. Shalom. And just to reiterate what I typed in chat, I said, so sorry that I'm late. Shabbat Shalom on this second Yom of the 6th Chodesh. So this is the second light time since the renewed moon just a couple of nights ago. And it says 1 moon to Yom Teruah. So the next new moon, the next sighting is Yom Teruah, the day of trumpet blasting and shouting. Then on the 10th day of the 7th month is Yom HaKippurim, which is the day of inspection and reflection, fasting and prayer and stuff like that. Then the 15th is Sukkot, which is 7 days, and then the 8th great day. And then 2 weeks later to Vegas. So in a month, it's going to be busy, fun time.
Yeah,
so,
buddy.
Yeah, that sounded like an Asian, sub-translation. Busy, fun time. But it's legitimately like it's going to be awesome in the next month and then beyond. So can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Such a nice time last night. Love our FE fam from Spicy Sarah. Ted, yeah, we had a blast from Critical Inception. Sorry I didn't take any of your you and Karen zucchinis. Got to come back for more veggies. Yep, there was lots of veggies there. A couple of them got blasted to bits, but that was fun. Ted Sommer, shout out to Spicy Sarah, Azing 717 Critical Inception. Thanks for hanging out yesterday. Dang it, I missed the beginning. I don't know how that's possible. We're only like multiple hours late.
That's probably why, because we're not at the normal time.
Yeah. Talking about the movie premiere. That was a few weeks back. It must be 11:11 on Mexican time. Okay. Shout out to Daryl Davis's parents' 60th wedding anniversary. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, awesome.
Pretty sweet. That's a long time. 60 years is a long time.
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
rare.
Good for them.
That's really cool.
Yep. That's fantastic. Alrighty. Love y'all and Shabbat Shalom. And take it easy today. And I'm gonna go hang out with some friends and get loosened up. It was a rough week. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study. And we'll see you again next Saturday. Shabbat Shalom.
Shout out to Sergey. Shabbat Shalom.